Hey guys, thanks for watching May 24th Small Group Leader Training video. I'm glad you're watching because it means you're taking a real interest in your kids. This month we've been talking about the virtue of obedience, and obedience, our definition for that is trusting those who lead you by doing what you're asked to do. And it's one of the biggest things that kids are dealing with right now. And it's because it's a constant challenge for them. Everyone's telling them what to do, where to go, who to be, what to eat, what not to eat, stop slurping your milk, whatever it is. They're being told what to do all the time by everyone around them. So obedience, trusting those who are over in leadership over you, is a really big deal for kids. So we need to be sure to taking this month's virtue very seriously and just praying for our kids. So this week our story is the story of Adam and Eve, and that's found in Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 24, and it's how Adam and Eve disobey God. This is what happens when obedience goes bad. We've been talking about people who have obeyed. Samuel, Jonah, tons of people who have obeyed God and what they did, and it's honored God, honored their parents, honored whoever, but this is a story of obedience gone bad. And Adam and Eve don't do what they're supposed to do. They only have one rule, and that is the very thing that they break. And the reason they break it is probably because they're putting themselves, they're being prideful, and they think that, what they want is more important than God's rules. And sometimes it's exactly what our kids are dealing with. So be sure to read Genesis chapter 3. And this week's bottom line is it's right to listen to God because He is God. God knows more than us and He loves us deeply. Therefore, we need to trust Him by doing what He tells us to do. Adam and Eve didn't do that. They got kicked out of the garden. We today deal with the consequences of them sinning. And so we need to definitely just instill in our children to be obeying God. So stop by the store today and give your kids tickets and rewards for what they've done and brought back their God time cards, or have a friend, or have their Bible, or know their memory verse. So be sure to stop by the store this week so these kids can have positive reinforcements for the good things that they're doing. In K through 2, we have an obstacle course this week, so there are blindfolds in your pack. For the obstacle course, just grab some chairs. There's chairs in the library, there's tables in classrooms. Let's make a fun obstacle course for these kids, and they're being led by another person, and it's just teaching you to trust those who are told that they are over you. So whether or not it's technically a person that's older or whoever it is, if you've been told that they're over you, that you need to respect them and trust them. And so they need to listen to the person who's guiding them around the obstacle course. Also, there's a prayer card for these kids to write down things that they're dealing with and they're struggling with, and things that they maybe don't want to obey God with. And I just really challenge you as a small group leader, take one of those prayer cards and fill it out yourself. And we really need to be exemplifying the virtues that we're teaching our kids. It's really hard for you to go in there and be a small group leader and tell them that they need to obey their parents if you're a teenager and you're living at home and you're not. You're disrespecting them and you're not obeying them. Or if you disrespect your boss at work, or if you, don't do what you're supposed to do, or speed on the freeway all the time, and we're talking about obeying the laws of the land and obeying those in authority over you, including policemen, it's going to be really hard to teach that virtue when you're not living it. So take this prayer card, fill it out, and look at what your kids are writing down too. I really challenge you this week. Pray for your kids. Pray for the kids in your group. Take a serious interest in their life. Don't just come and spend an hour and 15 minutes a week with them. Actually care about them. Care about them when they leave the building. Pray for them this week. Through 6th grade, they're doing that same prayer card, and also there's a pros and cons list where they get to write down things that Adam and Eve did, what went right with them, what went wrong with them, what should they have done, just talking through the story. Hey, what would have happened if they didn't eat that fruit? What would have happened? What are the pros and cons of eating the fruit? What are the pros and cons of hiding from God? What are the pros and cons of making, a little makeshift leaf dress thing? Just talk about what happens when we do the right thing, and what happens when we disobey and we don't honor God with our actions. And what happens when we step out from underneath God's umbrella of protection for us? He's protecting us. When we obey those in authority over us, He's going to protect us. And when we don't, we will face the natural consequences of our actions. So let's obey our parents, let's obey God, and let's honor those in authority over us. Sweet. See you guys Sunday.